No, man, you know, when you climb up those 4 steps, man, ain't nothing like it in the world. That's called a man. And he's done it many times, over and over and over again. And this is just an extension of that he can, you know, train guys to get to the pinnacle with his help. And it's an exciting feeling to see the guys go out and perform what you teach them. So it's a really exciting time for boxing with John Scully, because he's bringing the game back. You know, a lot of old great trainers passed. And you get a guy come along like John Scully who can bring it back a little bit, teach the finer parts of boxing. It's great for boxing.
Do you the most?
Yeah, he's a man. He's a fighter. You know, he's been in there, so he knows the deal. And I really appreciate that about a guy. No nonsense kind of guy. He'll get in the ring and throw down with you, but really, he's teaching his skills.
How's your relationship built?
I know John Scully a long time. I've watched him fight. I've been around him a bunch of times. And, you know, it's a sound you have. You know, one fighter to another fighter, the real deal stuff that you really appreciate. And that's why I always love to have him come on my show and talk about what's really happening, because it's a no-nonsense kind of, let's get to the point, let's talk about it, and move on.
Career?
A bunch of years. I mean, listen, I took a lot of shots, hard to remember. Now, you know what I mean? It's been a long, a bunch of years. I mean, I've seen him, watched him, and spoke to him, and so I'm really glad to see him. It's happening for him, as well as for Chad Dawson, who's a great fighter and going to be fighting a great guy with Bernard Hopkins. Yes. There's a small group of people. You touch base, you rub elbows now and then, you talk some stories, and you're reminded of the past, and you move forward. What would I like to see John Scully do going forward? I'd like to see him do what he wants to do. I'd like to see him make a lot of champions, bring the good part of boxing back, teach the technical stuff to these guys that are, you know, I mean, I was kidding with you a little bit to show me your jab. That's what the pros are jabbing like. That's wrong. You get away with it for a little while, but when you get to the topper end of the guys, you're going to start getting caught and getting hurt. And John Scully is teaching them the right thing. I feel really good. I'm a very big Bernard Hopkins fan too. I just think it's time for him to turn the page, and I think Chad Dawson is going to help him with that. I do, but you know, when I want it more than they want it, I have no time for that. Yeah. You know, I'd love to get a guy that really wants to fight. I'd love to get involved, you know, roll up my sleeves and get to work with it, but haven't found that, and that's been a sad thing. But hopefully, I'll find that someday. I'd love to. I'm a good teacher. Well, I think that, you know, boxing died for a bunch of years because I think it was raped and robbed by some of the promoters and the managers in the game. And a lot of the guys that would have became fighters went to basketball, went to football, went to baseball. And now that you see the De La Hoyas, the Bella, Aram's still doing a pretty good job. Some of those guys, Joey, God, you have to hold off on that. I can't remember his name. But anyway, those kinds of guys are allowing these kids that would have been fighters in the past, now they're starting to come back. They hear it, and it sounds good. Joe DeGuardia, great guy. And they're hearing the sound, and it feels good, and they feel safer, and they're coming back to the game. So we're going to see a lot more fighting in America, in and around the world, getting better. It became a bad time because, you know, the Klitschko's are just so dominant. They're so, you know, big and strong. There hasn't been any heavyweights in the game, and it's like anything. It breaks away for a while, it comes back. You know, any type of business that you don't put into to help advertise, support it, it's going to die. And now boxing's on its way back, so there's going to be somebody out there who's going to stand up and be proud and make a good fight here. And I think, you know, all the weight classes. I mean, listen, the bantamweights, years ago, if the heavyweight division was weak, boxing really struggled. Now, you got bantamweights, 126 pounds, 120 pounds, 130 pounds, that are standing up, and those guys are all knockout guys. So it's really changed a lot, and it's very exciting to be involved with the game again. I know he's a very proud guy. He was a fighter, and you know, there's not that many guys like that out there. You know, he's a purist. He's a fight guy. I mean, a lot of guys come in for money, come in for whatever they do it for. John is a proud guy, and he's got a good guy in Chad Dawson, and it should make for a great fight. I mean, Hopkins is very awkward. Nobody really looks good against fighting him, and I think that you're going to see a magical night that night. And unfortunately, somebody has to lose, And I think that it's going to be Bernard Hopkins that night. I would love to be involved in the fight game. I've been looking around. I've been talking a little bit about it. I would like to get involved somehow. I've been talking a little bit to Freddie Roach out in California. Some way I'd like to get involved with it. But like I said, if I want it more than these guys want it, I got other things to do. You know, I got a nice family. Love to play golf. I do a lot of charity work. And so hopefully someday that'll happen. You know, I'm really glad for those guys. Glad.
So you still have a hunger inside you for...
Yeah, well, of course. I mean, I like to teach what I know and see somebody perform it and become a champion, sure. Well, you know, from my background, I come from a very dysfunctional, tough background, a lot of fear, low self-esteem. To be able to climb in the ring and then fight for the heavyweight championship of the world with the nonsense that went on, I made it pretty far. And I'm really proud about that. And I'm still talking about it. I'm still asked to come show up at appearances. I'm still a voice for the game. And that's really makes me proud. Well, you know, I'm a realist, right? And I realized that in the game I was in, from my background, and then being thrown into the heavyweight division when it was owned pretty much by Don King, and I didn't sign with him, it made it much more difficult for me to get fights and to be busy. So I was fighting once a year, and you know, you take a pitcher and you put him in the 5th game of the World Series, after 13 months inactivity, he's not going to do too well. Well, that's what I feel happened to me. But that being said, I made it. I had a great showing. I'm good friends with Larry Holmes today. We had a great night. We do a lot of stuff together. I'm still in the game. And like I said, people still want to hang out with me, so I'm all good with that. Well, you know, I tell people all the time, I'm not prejudiced. I hate everybody. Now, you know what I mean? Listen, I'm prejudiced against prejudiced people. I mean, listen, we're all fighting for life here. That's what's so good about the fight game, is that we got people from all walks of life struggling to make it. You got to be in their corner. You know, when I was growing up, you know, the guy who works 2 jobs, 3 jobs, comes home, wants to watch the fights tonight, he kind of lives vicariously through that fighter, or through the Jets. I'm a Jet fan, or the Giants. And so that's what's so powerful about what we do. And that it's all about the fight, the getting there. George Foreman. I caught me with a shot in the 2nd round. In one of my comeback fights, I got in great shape, cleaned up, put the bottle down, and I realized now it was a little bit too soon, and I heard him, and Gil Clancy wanted me to move for 6 or 7 rounds, but when a puncher hurt somebody, I went after him, and my timing was off, and I got caught with a shot.
Greatest trainer of all time?
Greatest trainer, so many. I love my trainer, Victor Valley. I mean, there's so many great trainers out there. I mean, Freddie Roach is a great trainer. John Scully is really showing up for himself. So, I mean, it's too early to really put those guys in that level, but I love my trainer so much.
Best fight of your life?
Best fight that I had? In losing to Larry Holmes, that was a great night. I mean, I was in there with the man and went 13 rounds and back and forth, close fight. I got a couple of points taken away for low blows, which he was pulling my head down. Had that not happened, I might not have went out in the 13th round and told him, go ahead and hit me, you can't hurt me. Because when I had those 3 points taken away, I felt like I couldn't win. And I wasn't intentionally throwing a low blow. He was taking my head to protect his body, and my head was dropping in. But that happens, it's a game. And I'm all good, I'm here, I'm kicking and scratching, and I got the cameras on me.
The boxer you admired most in your career, who did you idolize?
Roberto Duran, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes. I mean, so many great guys like that. I mean, you know, just so many great fighters. And, I mean, you know, Ray Robinson, and Jake LaMotta is a great guy, Willie Pep, Carmen Basilio, all those guys I got to spend time with at the Boxing Hall of Fame that, you know, a lot of them aren't here anymore, but to hear those stories about what the game was really like, it's great.
Family. Family or boxing?
You know, I love my family more than anything. I've been a fighter a lot of years, and nothing like family.
Has boxing ever kind of separated you from your family at a point? Was there ever any time where you, like, maybe at this point in your career, or, you know, you kind of sat there and you're kind of angry about I should have done this, because everybody does it in every.
No, you know what? You can second guess yourself all your life, and it is what it is. What happened happened, and you gotta keep moving forward, man, because time's going too fast.
Yep, I think that's what John Scully does.
Mm-hmm.
He's busy. So what makes you happiest right now in this point in your life?
Great family. Still box. I still spar 20, 30 rounds a week. I'm active with people, do a lot of charity work. Love my family. Life is good. Just busy and doing good stuff.
What would
I'll tell you what was told to me by Wendell Newton, an old heavyweight years ago when I first came around. He said, "You're a pretty good kid. You fight pretty good. Take care of yourself. Don't get caught up out all night, messing with women, because it's going to go like that." And he looked at me, and I looked at him and said, "Thanks, well, that's not going to happen to me." And guess what? I'm 55 today, and it went just like that. Find a good trainer. Take care of yourself. Like I told Riddick Bowe years ago, listen, you got 5 years. Take care of yourself. Then you can do whatever you want to do. And I tell all the guys that, and most of them get caught up in hustle and bustle of life and don't pay attention.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have a balance, some type of balance. Don't forget your family, because you forget your family, that's not really good. But he's doing it. I mean, he's living his life to the fullest. And like I said, the problem is a balance. Like my trainer was always in training camp, so your family has to learn to get on without him. Then when you come home, you want to fit in, and it's hard because they've learned to get on with their own life. So you got to really have a balance there. But he's doing great. I'm really proud of him, all he's done, and what he's doing now. He's really in the top echelons of boxing. Don't get in the ring with that John Scully, boy. He'll whoop your ass.
I need to ask him.
And what happens is, you get out there and you think, "Oh, look at that shot. It looks wide open." Believe me, brother. Mm-hmm. You will pay the price.
I need in your life.
I mean, I love seeing Muhammad Ali fight Joe Frazier in the Garden. I love to see, Roberto Duran when he fought Ray Lampkin. They sent him to the hospital in a coma, and they told Duran said, "Good, next time I'll kill him." I mean, so many, Norton, Ali in the Garden. In Yankee Stadium. I've been so blessed. I've been around everybody I ever wanted to be around. Unbelievable. And I got to meet so many people. And I got a great rapport with people. I'm just like them.
If you had to pick 5 guys to go to war with, 5 boxers. 5 boxers that you're going to go into the trenches with and you're going to fight a war, who would you pick?
Well, guys like John Scully. That's the guy. He climbed up those 4 steps to fight, not to make a payday. You're a man. Five guys I would take to war with me, standing back to back to me, would be a John Scully, Joe DeGuardia, who's a great kid, won the Golden Gloves, still in the game, still promoting the game, changing the lives of all those fighters he's working with. That's the guys I want to be with. Well, I'm proud of him for what he's done. And he deserves this. And I hope he gets a lot more. I'd like to see him trainer of the year. And get some more talent directed his way. From what I understand, he's got some other great talent up there as well. And I'm really happy for him. That's the deal. I'm happy to see that happen. And I feel that way. It's a camaraderie that you have with these guys that know they when they put their life on the line over and over and over again. And some good days and some bad days. Listen, we all got bad days, but we make it through. And the problem with guys like us is that when somebody wants to get in the ring with us, the dumbest thing we do is we say, "Okay." Because now you're going to get in the ring, now you're going to make me prove a point.
Fine.
You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm learning to cut that out because, you can't, I was at I don't know if this is, a neighbor of mine was a big gym teacher, wanted to box with me, come down to the gym. Everybody who gets in the ring with me, they want to try and hit me with the shot. So when you do that, it makes me a little bit annoyed. And I tapped him in the body a little bit. And so a couple months later, my wife was at a party. My wife don't like me boxing. So this guy said, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Yes, I boxed with your husband." "Don't say nothing, but he broke 2 of my ribs." And so my wife said, "Sure, I'm not going to say something," But I didn't break his ribs. He just, got bruised or something, Because I cannot believe boxing with these guys, how I used to fight with my sparring partners. These guys, it's like about 2% and they're all hurting. You know what I mean? I used to really punch. I was hard on my sparring partners back in the day.
Yeah.
because they're making a lot of money. I got to get in shape. And so anyway, that's blah 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 blah.
No, you can blow away all you want.
It's all good, man. It's been a great show. I'm really sad. I'm not going to be able to go see that fight, sitting in that fight this weekend. But family's got to come first for me. And I know I'm going to come and hook up. I'm going to go to Connecticut and see him. I was there last night.
His best aspects were as a fighter.
Listen, he had a lot of heart, and he was going to fight. And he was going to. His will was so big. I mean, I identify with that. I identify with. I got to fight. I got to take that guy. I got to take him out. And that's the way it is. It's just see, when you're a fighter, you can hear the sound in the voice. You can see the movements, and that's really the deal. And once you see that, it's just this respect. If you never talk to the person, when you see him, you'll smile. When you see him on the show, some of you'll smile because you know that's what he's got.
Now you call John, what, about once a month for your show?
Yeah, I like him coming on, telling me what's going on. He's the man.
And I mean, that relationship started just from you knowing him, or?
Yeah, I called him.
So you just called him out of the blue one day and said, "Hey, John, you want to be on the radio?"
Right, love for you to come on. And he jumped on. He jumped, said it'd be great. So we'd be having a nice time with it. I know he knows the fight game, and that's fun to hear that language because a lot of times you talk to guys, they don't know what they're talking about. It's like you have them on the show, you can get it, what's going on, and I try and relate that to the listener. We want Friday night the fights.
Friday night the fights. Okay.
Sirius and XM Radio. It's a great time.
Okay.
And hopefully we'll have Chad and Mr. Scully, the Iceman, on real soon to being champions.
Yes.
I got to tell you a story. I had a guy who's come around me. He's from Scranton, Ohio, Scranton, Pennsylvania. He was called Pat the Barber. I didn't know what that was from. I never asked him. There was fights up in my training camp, Willie Monroe, Marty Monroe, and so I'm in the elevator with 3 of these heavyweights, and there's this guy Pat the Barber, and they're breaking my balls, right? I was like, oh, shut up, man. Get out of here. Win your fight. So I get out of the elevator, and this guy Pat the Barber, this little fat guy, said, "Don't worry, I had you covered." He said, "What are you talking about?" He went like this. He had a single-edged razor blade. His name was Pat the Barber. Big John, how are you, my brother?
What's up, buddy? How you doing?
John, we just had a great conversation about you, big boy. And you know what? You know what we found out? You know what we found out? You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
A bad man?
Yeah.
I'm a bad man, man.
I just had some great conversation about you and where you have been and how you communicate about the game. And I'm so excited for you and your successes and what's going on for you now. And this is a big stage you're on, and it's only going to be, you're going to be directed to so many other things, good things going to happen for you, John.
Right. I hope so. And it's kind of I guess the word is surreal. Like I'll tell you, when I was a kid, as I told you, I mean, I watched all the, I was the kid that every weekend I watched all the weekend fights. I remember you fought Philip Brown. Remember Phil Brown?
Sure. Wow.
Phil was out of my gym. Phil was actually moved to Connecticut and trained with us, and so I watched those fights, and I was always. I didn't just watch the fight, but I imagined what it was like at the hotel and
wow.
The fight, what they were doing at the weigh, and now to be involved in it, it's just kind of crazy.
Well, I love you saying that because that's what you give off when you talk about the game, the excitement, and that's what it's about. And Philip Brown was a good, strong guy, but he had no guts. And you understand that, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was the thing on him. Like he fought here in Connecticut, and people would say, I remember this one particular fight, and he fought a kid out of Canada. I forget the guy's name, but I remember they said, man, he's got all the tools, and he's got the most beautiful body, and if he had the heart, the hunger to really put it together, he'd be something. But he was just like happy to be there kind of situation.
Yeah, no guts. He hit me with a right hand up in Alaska, and when he hit me, he looked me in his eyes lit up, and I spit on the floor, and I went after him. That was the fight was over.
Yeah, right.
And backed him up.
Exactly what you mean.
See, I'm talking about Big John.
Yeah, it's a funny game.
Listen, John, you got my message. I cannot make it down there. I'm in your corner. I'm so proud of you, and I'm pulling for you. And I'm gonna get up to. I was up to Connecticut yesterday, but I'm going to get up and see you guys in your gym up there, okay? And I'm going to get on the phone with you after the fight. I know you're going to be the champ, okay?
I appreciate it. Thank you. And I'll talk to you soon,
All right, John. Good luck, pal. Tell Chad we're pulling from, all right?
I will. I'll see him in a few minutes.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks, John.
That was excellent. All right.
That was all I was talking about. That, you know, you hear the sound, right?
Yeah. You guys clicked pretty well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, he's a regular dude.
He was busy that day at the casino, and he said, "Oh, Gerry called me. I gotta get on." He ran. He's like, "I gotta fix my iPhone. What the hell's going on with his phone?" He found the most secluded corner he could, and he was just.
But I'm so happy for him for that. That he's experiencing that stuff now. You know what I mean?
He's a great guy. He's a great.
Because of that, you know what I mean? And I just hope it stays for him. And it's gonna because now he's on the world stage. Like he's talked about a little bit, and now people are gonna be directing themselves to him.
It says a lot for Chad to come.
Emmanuel Stewart, he wants to come in for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's what it is.
And you know, do 2 weeks work. When you're a fighter, you want your guy with you from the beginning to the end. And you know, Emmanuel Stewart's too busy. He's a great trainer. I mean, I think he's a great trainer.
Yeah.
But you gotta, you know, I want my guy with me.
Yeah.
I don't want to be having him working with some other guys in the last couple of minutes, trying to come in and change some things up on me. You know what I'm saying?
That's probably why Cotto left him too.
Yeah, he broke down a lot of guys. You know, a lot of guys broke down.
What do you think about this fight? Though? This has nothing to do with the documentary. What do you think about that fight for Mayweather and Cotto?
I think that I'm a big Cotto fan, but he can't hang out with Mayweather.
Yeah.
Mayweather is just a, you know, Cotto's winding down. His motor's slowing down a little bit. Mayweather is still there. And so he's going to catch him. I think he's just going to catch a beating. And I you know, I love Miguel Cotto.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big fan of his, and I kind of wish he would have got out. He made enough money; he should have got out before this fight. But I think that he's gonna catch a little bit of beating. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty competitive. I guess that new trainer says the guy has.
Yeah, I understand that, but you know, when you still got, you know, the wear and tear on the body, and
He's had some wars. Mr. Cooney, one quick thing. If you could just walk by, we could film you and just point out a couple things.
sure.
And then we're gonna get a picture of you slugging me.
No way, bro, because you won't remember the
No,
day.
it's a fake one. Just a
You
fake
won't
one.
remember the day.
I probably won't later
Now,
on.
how you gonna do with that shadow?
Yeah, we'll just hang it.
I got my friend Leroy Neiman and Henny Youngman, Frank Sinatra, The Sopranos, Vincent Price, Richard Dawson, the All-Star Family Feud. That's a great shot. I love that shot. Myself and my trainer in between rounds, one of my fights. It's a Kenny Norton fight over there. It's a really nice cartoon that Bill Gallo did, God rest his soul. He's a great guy. Dino Dennis, Rodney Dangerfield. I was trying to get a fight with him, but he wouldn't take it. And, you know, I got just, my life is on there, you know, from the amateurs to the pros, my family. So I've been really lucky. Frankie Robinson's over there. You know, just a lot of life, you know. Jake LaMotta, Kenny Norton, Eddie Gregg. I was on The Simpsons. They drew me in
Oh,
on The Simpsons over there. See it over there? Fourth picture down. Jack Dempsey. You know, Joe Frazier. My trainer, Victor Valdez, who I just knocked out the Russian third-ranked heavyweight in the world. I knocked him out in 1 round. Bob Hope. That was a bad man. He used to be a fighter. You know, I did an exhibition with him back when I was fighting Holmes. He was a Kansas City Chicken. And he was actually a fighter in the old days. He did some boxing.
Really?
But Jack Dempsey, look at Jack Dempsey there. And there's Jimmy Young, an old friend of mine, Sammy Morgan, used to run the gym in Gleason's gym back in the old days. So there's a lot of great memories on there, you know what I mean? And that's the greatest, is my family over there.
Mr. Cooney, we thank you for the hour very much.
Get out.
That's what we're going to do.
Get out.
Frank, pop in on you one of these days.
Good, bro. Good to see you, bro. All good.
May I get a picture of you?
No, go ahead. Here, take yourself if I kill you. I might kill you anyway, but.
You don't stop, dude.